So this is going to be reviewed just basically where we're going to put the answers in the chat because that's the way these boot camps are. Yeah, CentOS. And which three are primarily used for servers? I'll give you a hint. There's three answers. You say A, B, and D, and you would be correct. Which two flavors are derived from Debian Linux? Thomas Shorter, you have an invite to a breakout. Please accept. Yes, Ubuntu and Linux Mint. Whatever shall we do? Which distro of Linux is a common distribution used in universities? Think about it. Universities usually have research centers. So Scientific Linux is what he used, which is awesome because it does all the maths for you. I say that because I have European friends, and instead of math, they say maths. That's why I always say that, in case you're wondering. Now, if the subject is not math, it's maths. Which are two common programming languages used in Linux? I don't know, when you're first learning it, it kind of looks like Chinese, doesn't it? What is this Linux stuff? But Python and PHP. Right. Open source software owns a great deal to what three organizations? All right. What does FSF stand for? Free Software Foundation. What does IEEE stand for? That is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. The Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. What does OSI stand for? The Open Source Initiative. It is not the same as the OSI model. So the OSI, we talk about the OSI model, stands for Open Systems Interconnect. OSI in Linux is the open source initiative. And CC is Creative Commons. But yes, the answers are A, C, and D. An arrangement whereby a work may be used, modified, and distributed freely is what? We have some B's and some D's. It is copyleft. So copyleft is a play on copyright, where something is copyrighted. Anything that's copyleft means you can just use it. You can use it, you can change it, and you can give it to whoever you want. So that's what copyleft is. It's play on words. Linux people have a sense of humor. You can tell by mine, right? An environmental variable in Linux that tells the shells which directories to search for executable files. A response to commands issued by user is yes, it is the path variable. B is not a hidden directory. B is what is used in some versions of Linux for scripts. So a script is a file. Path looks for executable files all across the system, all across the OS. Which command lets you see past commands used? Yeah, the history command. Now, which directory holds fonts and icons usable by all users? Yeah, it's a user shared documents. So it contains all the neat fun stuff you can use. You just can't use them in text editors. Why can't you use fonts and icons in text editors? You can only do text. That's why it's called the text editor. That's all it does. Exactly. Which command works similar but faster than the find command? You say grep to actually locate. Do you know why it's not grep? One searches within files, the other searches file names. grep searches within files. Find searches for file names, which is the same as locate does. I'll explain them as we go along. I think we briefly covered the locate command because find is easier. Yep, grep searches within the files. Whereas find and locate just search for file names and search directories themselves. They don't actually go into the files. Where are syslog files kept in a Linux system? We looked at these. We looked at our system logs. Which answer has log in the name? So V for various, L for log. Various logs is what that stands for. So that is where your system log files will be kept, along with almost all of your other log files. There are some that are kept in the kernel, but for the most part, you'll find the var/log. Make sense, Vincent? In Linux, a lot of time it is what it says it is. Might have to do a little translation, but this one right here, log files, look for log in the name. Which two commands are frequently used to troubleshoot a network status? We have B's and C's, C's and D's. Netstat and ping. All right, let's go through these. What does route show you? It shows you how to get from one location to another, the route, how you're getting there. Right, A to B. What does ipconfig show you? Nothing in Linux. Right, it's ifconfig in Linux. All right, network status. Netstat seems good for network status. That's what it stands for. It's almost like the read the questions carefully thing, Vincent. And then ping tells you whether or not your network is working by pinging another location. And it's good that you guys see things like that now, rather than on the exam and miss it. That's just my opinion. But I think you guys would all agree with that too. All right, which one of these would you expect to see if you ran the PS command? All right, so let's talk about reading answers carefully. Can anybody tell me why D is not the correct answer? Because it's telling you in the top left what command is wrong. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse. But in the top left, it tells you what command is being run, the top command. All right, A. What is A showing? That's showing who's, no, it's showing who's logged on. Well, yes, actually it is showing the system is rebooting. You are correct. Right. What is B showing? Yeah, the free command. All right, so if the answer is not A, B, or D, what is it? C. So this is the PS command we ran on our VMs that shows limited information. Then we did the PS space -AX to show all of them. Which of the following describes what a Linux distribution is? Yes, Robbie, the Linux exam will have questions like this. Not like this question here. Personally, I think A and D are correct. I mean, A and C. I did too, Kevin. But it's a kernel, utilities, and productivity software. Right, but see, reading the question carefully, the question is, what describes what a Linux system is, not where Linux came from. It's almost like we should read the questions carefully. Guys, sick of hearing that yet? Which of the following are examples of cloud services? Yep, infrastructure, software, and platform as a service. When running the dmesg command, what do you expect to see? So the dmesg is what shows you, well, I can't answer that. If I tell you what it does, that'll give you the answer. Choose two. What does the dmesg show us? What information does it show us? From where? From what part of the Linux operating system does running the dmesg command gather information from? Thank you, Kevin. That's what I was looking for. It shows everything in the kernel ring buffer. And as the kernel ring buffer grows, dmesg doesn't show older information because it overwrites it. So that is what the dmesg command does. All right, here's a tough one. What is the Linux-based phone operating system? And yes, there are questions just like this on the exam too. Don't second guess yourself on it. Sometimes the answer is as easy as it looks. Android. Those awesome Android-based phones. Except I don't like the curved screens because they break too easily. When provisioning a Raspberry Pi, where is the operating system stored? Showed you guys a picture of a Raspberry Pi, right? My son took his back to college with him, so I didn't have his with me. Clearly, it doesn't stay too long on my Windows cell. It's a removable SD card inserted into the device. And what is the name of the operating system for Raspberry Pi? The pre-installed operating system. There you go, Blake. Raspbian. Always makes you think of Rasputin. What is the standard file system for Linux? So why is the answer ext4? The easier answer is the other three are all Windows. FAT16, FAT32, and NTFS are all Windows. So the only answer possibly could be is ext4. All right, because breakout rooms are open, I cannot do our ducks. But it is time for our break. So let's take a break and come back at 8 Eastern time. I can't do ducks, Tommy, because breakout rooms are open, so I can't share my screen. So I will see you guys in 10.